From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Well, if you've gotten into the Christmas spirit and brought a live tree into your home recently or are planning to do so in the next few days, you may be wondering how to keep it looking fresh and green throughout the holiday season. And when it comes to tree care, there is plenty of bad advice floating around. So we're here to debunk a few myths and give you some advice on how to keep your tree from becoming brittle before the holiday ends. Now, one of the most popular beliefs out there is that adding aspirin or bleach or sugar to the water can slow needle loss or improve water absorption. But experts beg to differ. Researchers at Michigan State tested this out and came to the conclusion that you do not need to add any extra supplements to the water. You don't need to add sugar, don't add aspirin, do not add bleach or floral preservatives. Research has shown that plain tap water is all that is needed to keep your tree fresh. All right, how about drilling a hole in the base? Does that help it drink more water? That is also a myth. Water moves up through the outer layers of the trunk, not the center, and so drilling a hole in the base of the trunk does not improve water uptake. However, experts do recommend making a fresh cut at the base of the tree right before you place your tree in a water-filled stand. How about hot water? Does that help the tree absorb water faster? All right, so this is partly true. Warm water may briefly soften sap near the cut at the base of the tree, but typically it's going to cool too quickly to make any significant difference. How about you only need to water your tree once a day? All right, so you need to keep an eye on it because a freshly cut tree can absorb about a quart of water per inch of trunk diameter every day during the first week. So trees may need to be watered multiple times a day. If the stand runs dry and the base seals over the sap, well, the water uptake stops permanently, which can accelerate needle loss. There are some folks who say it's fine to wait before putting a tree in water, and of course, that's a myth. Once you bring the tree home, place the tree in water as soon as possible. Most species can go about 6 to 8 hours after cutting the trunk and still take up water. If needed, trees can be temporarily stored for several days in a cool location. Place the freshly cut trunk in a bucket that is kept full of water. All right, so here are some proven ways to keep your Christmas tree fresh all holiday season. 1, hydrate consistently. Never let that stand run dry. 2, avoid heat sources, keeping that tree away from fireplaces, vents, or radiators because warm air dries the tree out quicker. 3, lower the room temperature where the tree is located because slightly cooler indoor air helps slow needle drop. And 4, use LED lights if you can. They emit less heat than incandescent lights, which helps the tree retain moisture. That's all for now. You can find regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.